Hi everybody, my name is Jim Oates, but some folks call me Diver Jim because I've been a scuba diver for over 35 years. I want to thank you all for inviting me here today. I especially want to thank your teacher and your principal who've made time for me to visit with you today so that I can talk to you about the underwater world. My favorite thing to do is go visit the underwater world in the ocean to see the awesome, amazing animals that live there. Every dive is a new adventure. I love all animals. If you like animals and adventure, and you like to explore and learn about nature and science, then you're like me. Scuba diving lets people go visit the underwater world, and it is truly an amazing place. Here's a little Google Earth video showing a lot of the places where I've gone diving in my time. And we'll start with looking at our home, North America, the United States, with Canada north and Mexico south. And then what popped up was all of the dive locations I've traveled and dove at around North America and the Caribbean. Now we'll follow the sun and rotate with the earth and fly over the huge Pacific Ocean, where I've dove in Hawaii and in the South Pacific. And now Australia, where I've dove many hundreds of times on the Great Barrier Reef. A quick look at the country of Indonesia to the north. Now we're flying over the Indian Ocean and coming to the continent of Africa, where I've dove in Mozambique and South Africa. Now we're flying over the South Atlantic Ocean, and we see South America and the North Atlantic Ocean. And here we are back in North America. Today I'm going to show you underwater video of some of the curious and friendly animals I've met on my dives. First, we'll see some of my favorite animals, humpback whales. I lived on a small island, Ewa, which is part of the country of Tonga, for 3 months to learn about and video the humpback whales who visit there every year. To get to Tonga and the island of Ewa, we have to fly from my home in San Diego southwest over the Pacific Ocean in the direction of New Zealand and Australia, but we will come to Ewa before we get there. And here's Ewa, one of many islands in the country of Tonga. So, here we go into the water. From late May until early November, humpback whales will visit the warm waters of Tonga. They've made a 6-week journey over 2,500 miles from their feeding areas around Antarctica back to the warm waters around Tonga. They come here when it's time to have their babies. This is exactly where these humpback whales were born. And now that they are grown, they come back to the same place to have their babies. Amazing if you think about it. Humpback whales can grow to be 50 feet long and weigh 50 tons. That's 100,000 pounds. You might think that such large animals would be dangerous to be close to. And when you first see them in the water and realize how very small you are compared to them, your heart beats a little bit faster. But when you understand that these whales are very curious, and by just staying still in the water, the whales will slowly come closer and closer to you. They are so graceful and move very slowly when they are close to you. The female whales were the most curious and would always be the first to come close to me. The females always had a friendly look in their eyes, and sometimes they'd be just so close, less than 2 feet away. I could touch them if I wanted to. The males would take a little bit longer to accept me, but after a few minutes they also became more curious and would start playing and swimming around me and coming closer, and then swim away, only to come back again and again. The whales seem to be saying to me, "Hi, who are you? Look at me. Want to be friends?" It's truly a shame that before the international ban on whaling, over 90% of humpback whales were killed. So these humpback whales are making a recovery from the brink of extinction. And now humans understand how important humpback whales are, and we no longer hunt them. To play chase with dolphins, we have to travel from my home in San Diego to the island nation of Palau in the very western part of the Pacific Ocean. Palau is one of the best places in the world to dive. There are more species of fish in the waters of Palau than anywhere else on Earth. There are lots of dolphins around Palau too, but whenever we would come across dolphins and I would slip into the water to video them, they would hang around a few moments and then leave. They were quickly becoming bored with me because I couldn't swim around like they do. This is a picture of a diver who is using an underwater scooter to pull her around. These scooters can really move you through the water. My friend in Palau had one of these scooters, and we attached my camera to the top of it. So now I could move much faster. Maybe we might find a friendly school of dolphins, and I would get a chance to really swim with them. On the 5th day out, we came across a school of about 30 very playful bottlenose dolphins. I slipped into the water, and here's what happened. Now we will see some video of another species of whale. It is the minke whale. Minke whales, like humpback whales, are very curious and very friendly. Each year in June and July, minke whales visit Australia's Great Barrier Reef. To get there, from my home in San Diego, we will first fly to Brisbane, Australia, taking the same path that we took when we flew to Tonga, except it will go a little bit further to Brisbane, Australia. And now we'll take a quick look at the Great Barrier Reef inside the white outline. The Great Barrier Reef is a complex of thousands of coral reefs that stretch for over 1,500 miles along the northeast coastline of Australia. Okay, let's go visit some minke whales. Like all mammals, minke whales breathe air. They normally hold their breath for 10 to 15 minutes before coming up to the surface to breathe, but they can hold their breath for up to 25 minutes. Minke whales grow up to 30 feet in length and can weigh over 10 tons, which is 20,000 pounds. Minke whales are about the size of a city bus. Minke whales like to sneak up behind you and then come swimming over your shoulder just a few feet away. This will instantly get your full attention. And they seem to enjoy being sneaky like that. Minke whales will also sometimes swim fast by you, and also sometimes swim very slowly by you. It is a lot of fun to be in the water with minke whales. Minke whales are very friendly to humans. If you get to be in the water with minke whales, it'll be one of the happiest experiences of your life. Some fish are very curious about divers. This fish is a potato cod, and usually if this fish sees a diver, they will come right away to find out what the diver is doing there. The potato cod is curious, but you wouldn't call them friendly really, although some of them have pretty funny personalities and give you some funny looks sometimes. But they want to know why divers are there in their neighborhood, where they are the biggest animals. Divers are big, and the fish thinks anything as big as they are will likely want to push them out of their neighborhood. So the cod wants me to know that he has his eye on me, and he's watching what I'm doing. The next curious fish looks like the potato cod, but is a different species of fish. He is the giant Queensland grouper. The giant Queensland grouper is twice the size of the potato cod and is a bit bigger than I am, weighs more than I do. The giant Queensland grouper is the king of his neighborhood, and he wants you to know so. You can see he can get pretty pushy when he wants you to go home. Here's a very curious fish. It's the porcupine pufferfish, and you probably saw this fish in Finding Nemo. It's the fish that if it gets scared, it puffs up like a balloon, and that keeps it from getting eaten. But if you're real gentle with them, they're very curious. And here's a curious hawksbill turtle. He sees his reflection in my camera housing and he thinks it's another turtle. And that's why he's so curious and coming closer and closer. He doesn't realize he's looking at his own reflection. One of the best experiences a scuba diver can have is to run across manta rays. All divers want to have this experience, to be close to these huge, beautiful, gentle, and very playful animals. manta rays are curious and friendly. Manta rays love scuba divers too. If a manta ray sees a diver, he will be very curious. If a diver sees a manta ray, then the manta ray has already decided to get a closer look at the diver because the manta ray saw the diver long before the diver saw the manta ray. And if the diver remains still in the water or only moves very slowly, the manta ray will come closer and closer until they're right next to you. The manta ray will swim above the diver and wait for the diver to blow bubbles on their underside, which tickles them, and they love it. Manta rays, like all rays, are members of the fish group. There are 3 different species of manta rays, and the largest one, the giant Pacific manta ray, is the species that we're watching now. These manta rays can grow to be more than 20 feet wide. Scientists say that manta rays become habituated to divers, which means that manta rays accept and get used to divers being around. But many divers, including me, will tell you that manta rays are friendly and like to play with divers. There is much more interaction initiated by manta rays with divers than what it means to be just habituated to divers. Manta rays get excited and they can get shy and swim away from the diver, but their curiosity will bring them back, and I believe they feel happy when they see and play with divers. And that's what we all feel. There are no animals friendlier to humans than manta rays. And I came across these big rays all together when I was diving on a shipwreck in Australia on the Great Barrier Reef. The first clip shows me making friends with a black-blotched stingray. This ray will come to me 3 times, each time getting a little bit closer to me. And here he comes for the first time, and he's just slowly approaching me. He has never seen me before, so he's just wondering. And so he swam off a little ways, but now he's coming back. He's curious. He really wants to see who I am, what I am, and maybe make friends. Now he came closer, but he's going to leave again. And this is a typical behavior of rays. And we saw this with the manta rays too, where they come close and then they go off and they come back. And we saw the same behavior with humpback whales. And now here he comes back again for the third time. He swam a long ways away, and now he's coming all the way back. And this time he's going to come even closer. It's a lot of fun. Now, this is another big ray that I was some distance away from him. I was behind him, but he knew I was there. These animals are aware of my presence long before I ever see them. And so he decides, I guess, that he's going to come introduce himself. So he comes swinging down here, and here he is saying hello, and now he's waving a little bit. And he's on his way. This next story is a little bit funny. I was swimming along the deck of the shipwreck towards the front, and I saw these two big rays. And so I slowly approached the first one, and he took a look at me and then decided he wanted to move away, so he just dives down the side of the wreck and disappears. And I thought, well, okay, let me see about this other ray here if he's a little bit more interested. So I swam towards him. He looked at me and he took off too. And nobody wanted to hang around with me, I guess. So a little bit disappointed, I turned back around, and there's the first one right there. He'd come back wondering where I was going, I guess. And here's the second one right here too, getting in between me and the other one. A little bit of jealousy, I think.